Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to add multiple functions to a 3D text template so you can have Chrome, add textures and shaders, or plain color, or gradient color. We'll start out in Edit page. Go to Media Pool, right click, New Fusion Comp. You can name it if you like, but you don't have to. And go ahead and leave it on 5 seconds. Put it on your timeline and go to Fusion. I will leave a free preset in the description below. I may or may not do the macro at the end of this. I might do it in part 2. Depends on how long this takes. I'll try to fit it in this tutorial though. Start out with the background. Take the alpha all the way down. For those of you that don't know me, I have to use this on-screen keyboard because I'm paralyzed. I can't use my hands and arms. I just put this out there every time because I had a few people question why I had it up there in the way. You have a 3D text, a merge, a camera, light, and render. Merge the render into the background. Select your text node, put the text you're liking in. And you shouldn't see anything yet. We'll go to dual viewers. Put the merge viewer 1. The reason why we're not seeing it in viewer 2 yet, because the camera and the light are right on top of the text, actually point behind it. As you can see now in viewer 1, we'll select the camera, go to transform, select use target, rotate the z-axis, and you'll start seeing it in viewer 2. Rotate it to the right. You want to use this method for your default size. And if you notice, it's not center of the screen, it's higher. Let's go back to the text node. Select center v-anchor. That'll line it up. Pick your font, your tracking. Grab a background. Now I want to connect the background to the text, but it isn't going to let me. Select the text. Go to shading. Under materials here, select this image button. When you select it, you look at your text, you have another input, a white one, show up. And there it is. Now I can connect it. We're going to use that as our text color so we can use gradient and everything else on it. And by default, it's black. We'll make it red. Back to dual viewers. Select the spotlight. Go to transform. Select use target. And same thing, rotate the Z-axis to the right, and you'll see the camera coming back. But before I do that, I'm going to select the render. Change the render type from software to hardware. Enable lighting and shadows. Now you see we have no light. That's because the light is pointing through our text to the backside. Select spotlight. Take the Z-axis, rotate it to the right, and you'll see it move away from the text in viewer 1. In viewer 2, you'll start to see it light up. You can also grab these little handles if it's easier. Go to controls. Open the cone angle all the way up. Select the text. Now we'll add some excursion to this. Select that little excursion button. I'm going to set mine at 0.1. There's a little light switch up here. Sometimes you can see it better if you change it. Right now my pivot point is at the back of the text. We want to move it to the middle. Let's finish setting this up first while I'm here. Then we'll do that. Take the excursion subdivisions all the way up. And the smoothing angle all the way up. I'm going to set my bevel depth and width to 0.0063. You can set yours to your liking. And let's set up a custom. We'll add that in the macro. Select it. Highlight the bottom corner. And highlight both the top ones. Hit F on the keyboard. If you happen to screw this up, right click on the box and select reset. For default, I'm going to leave it on classic. But now we have the option in the inspector. Select the text node. Shift space and replace material. Drag it down, make some room, and select the text node again. Shift space and another replace material. We're going to add the chrome to this one. So if you don't know where it's at, go up here to Effects, Templates, Fusion, and Shaders. Now, within the Replace Material node, there's an Enable button. Let's turn the first one off because it's passing through. Now the second one, Enable button will work. Now it's Chrome. Now we're back to color. For default, we want to leave it like this. Click away right about here. Shift space and blend. And click away again right about here. Shift space and bump map. Pipe the blend into the first replace material. And the bump map into the blend. We're going to bring one picture in to use for texture. I call them textures. And the other one will be the shader, whatever you're overlaying on it. Click away again, right about here. And you want to bring these in as a loader, or they will not work. And type in loader. Now you may have to navigate to your pictures. And that's all these are, is pictures I got offline. Anything with some kind of a embossed texture, or looking, it's actually not embossed, but looks like it has a texture to it, will work to put a texture on your text. I'm going to use this lightly brushed aluminum. Pipe that into the bump map. Click away below. Another loader. And we'll use this as the shader. That gets piped into the blend. All right, now we go back to the second replace material. Enable the Chrome, and as you see, it's Chrome. Go to the second one. Now we have our shader, but it's too bright. I'll show you how to correct that. Go to the blend. Under specular. And exponent. Set it to your liking. These will be in the inspector because every shader is different. Now the trick to doing this, for bringing in other shaders on the edit page, is actually through the loader node. You click on it, you'll see this file name. This is my media right here that I brought in. We're going to have this browse button in the inspector, so you just change it right up there to whatever you like. Same thing on both of them. Select the first replace material, shift space, and transform. Let's turn this off, replace material. Then go to the text. Go to shading. Down here to specular. And this one will adjust the amount of sheen on the color. I'm going to set mine at 0.5. Looks pretty good. Again, we'll add these in the inspector. And while we're here, we want to change the mapping level from character to word. That way, if you use gradient, it'll go across the whole word, not just per character. Now let's adjust our pivot point. Go to transform. Pivot. We set the excursion at 0.1. So we'll set this at 0. 0.05, which would be half of that. And now it's in the center. The transform's the one you're going to use to animate it. We're not going to animate it here, but in the inspector, you'll be able to animate it and do what you want. Makes it a little more versatile that way. I'll go back and turn the chrome on. And rotate it just to make sure it is chrome. It sometimes look white. I think we are actually ready to make the macro. Let's rename a couple of these. Let's rename the transform to group controls. And while we're at that, group controls selected. Our pivot point is at the back. This is what you're going to use to rotate it. So this is the most important one to get center. Same thing, 0.05 on the pivot. You can do the lights and camera too. I kind of like to, that way I can tell if anything's out of a line. And now if you look, viewer 1, it's a lot cleaner. Okay, we'll go ahead and make the macro. Click away, make sure nothing's selected. And go to one viewer for now. Okay, I think we're almost ready to make the macro. Make sure both the replace material enable button are deselected. I'm going to turn the spotlight intensity down a little bit. .8. Okay, I think that's it. Click away, make sure nothing's selected, and select these in the order that I do. That way they'll be the same from top to bottom in the inspector. Hold down the control button. Then hit A on the keyboard. Keep the control button down. And deselect the media out. Right click on any one of the other nodes. But as you see, my keyboard screws with me some. Go to macro. Create macro. Give it a name. And follow along. We don't need any of the color here because we're getting it from the background. We'll go into shading. In front of specular intensity, put color. Because we have two sets of these, we be able to identify which one's which. You have to select all of these all the way down if you want the gradient and four corner. But they'll be hidden in the inspector. Under custom. Replace material 2. That's the one with the chrome on it. Select enable and put chrome behind enable. Replace material 1. Same thing, but put shaders behind enable. And we have to select use external materials. We didn't have to do that on the replace material 2 because the chrome is connected to it. If you don't know what to select when you're doing a macro, whatever you're working on in the macro, select that node and everything will show up in the right side in the inspector. We want this intensity and exponent right here. I'm going to put shader in front of intensity. Bitmap. As far as I'm concerned, height only. The height scale is really the only thing you need. But I'm going to select the rest. Some of you may know more about that than I do. None of it seems to do anything for me. If anybody knows, please leave a comment in the comments for me. This is the loader here. We want to select this file name. Again, that's the picture that I brought in. If you move or delete either one of these medias in your computer, the preset won't work. I will link a card up in the right corner showing how to save the media right in the preset, basically bake it in so it stays right with it. I'll also put that in the description below. Delete file name and put in textures. And the loader 2, select file name, delete file name, and put in shaders. Group controls. Put group controls in front of X. We'll select them in case you want to animate it, rotating or something on the edit page. Select intensity and put light in front of intensity. Go to File, Save as Group. It takes you to macros. I'll go to Fusion instead. Templates. Edit. Titles. Right here, you can make your folder. And when you do, don't name it the exact same thing as your preset, because Resolve probably won't be able to recognize it. Most of the time it doesn't for me. So name it just a little bit different. I'm gonna go find it. All right, here it is. You click on it. Enable Chrome. You can keyframe any of these and animate them. Now, if you want to change the textures, we'll enable them right here. Now you can see the texture. We'll bring it way in. You can see the texture starting to change. I go extreme to show it. But anyhow, I'll let you guys figure it out. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.